Welcome back to the Criminal Department, where we explore the darkest corners of human nature and delve into the minds of some of the most infamous criminals in history. Today, we bring you the chilling story of David Catlin, a man who hid behind a mask of charm and normalcy. While committing heinous crimes, Catlin's case is a haunting reminder that evil can often hide in plain sight, lurking behind the most unsuspecting faces. David Catlin was born on October 31, 1944, in Bakersfield, California. As a child, he appeared to lead a typical life, raised in a seemingly stable family environment. Little is known about his early years, but those who knew him described him as a bright and sociable young man. He was well-liked by his peers, had a charming demeanor, and seemed to possess a promising future. However, beneath this surface of normalcy, there were subtle hints of the darkness that would later define his life. Growing up, Catlin displayed a keen interest in science and chemistry, often spending hours experimenting with various substances. His fascination with chemicals would later become a key element in his deadly methods. But at the time, his interests appeared innocent enough, and no one could have predicted the sinister path he would eventually take. First marriage and tragedy. Stephen's adult life appeared relatively normal. He married his first wife, Joyce Catlin, in the early 1970s. To outsiders, they seemed like a happy couple, living a quiet life in California. However, their marriage was marked by financial struggles, and Stephen was often described as being ambitious, with a constant desire for a better lifestyle. In 1981, tragedy struck the Catlin household. Joyce, who had been suffering from a mysterious illness, suddenly passed away. Her death was initially ruled as being due to natural causes, with liver disease cited as the primary cause. Joyce's passing was a devastating blow to those who knew her, but Stephen's reaction was notably subdued, while friends and family grieved. He seemed more concerned with settling Joyce's affairs, including claiming a life insurance policy he had taken out on her. Following Joyce's death, Stephen's life took a curious turn. He quickly remarried, this time to a woman named Glenna Kay. The couple's relationship appeared to be much like Stephen's first marriage, marked by financial concerns and Stephen's desire for wealth. Within a few years, tragedy struck once again. Glenna, much like Joyce, fell ill under mysterious circumstances. She began exhibiting symptoms that baffled doctors: nausea, vomiting, and weakness. Despite medical intervention, her condition deteriorated rapidly, and she passed away in 1984. Glenna's death raised red flags, as it closely mirrored the circumstances of Joyce's demise. This time, however, authorities were more suspicious. The pattern of Stephen's wives falling ill and dying under similar conditions could not be ignored. An investigation was launched, and the bodies of both Joyce and Glenna were exhumed for further examination. The results were chilling. Both women had traces of paraquat in their systems, a deadly herbicide known for causing respiratory failure and death. As investigators dug deeper into David Catlin's life, a disturbing pattern of behavior began to emerge. Catlin was known to have financial difficulties, and each of his wives had significant life insurance policies that named him as the beneficiary. This raised a critical question. Was David Catlin killing for money? The investigation into Catlin's crimes led authorities to consider other potential victims. One name that surfaced was Martha Catlin, Stephen's own mother. Martha had died in 1976, and her death, like those of Stephen's wives, was initially ruled as natural. However, with the new information about paraquat poisoning, investigators decided to exhume Martha's body for examination. The results were consistent with those of Joyce and Glenna. Traces of paraquat were found in Martha's system, confirming that Stephen had used the same method to murder his mother. But why would Catlin kill his own mother? The answer, it appeared, was again financial. Martha Catlin had a life insurance policy, and Stephen was the beneficiary. The pattern was undeniable. David Catlin's murders were motivated by greed, disguised under the guise of loving relationships. With mounting evidence, authorities moved quickly to arrest David Catlin. His trial began in 1985, and it quickly became a media sensation. The public was captivated by the story of a man who had killed not one, but three close family members using a deadly poison. The prosecution presented a compelling case, with toxicology reports, testimonies from medical experts, and evidence of Catlin's financial motivations. One of the key moments in the trial was the testimony of a chemist who explained the effects of paraquat. The chemical causes severe lung damage, leading to a slow and painful death. It was revealed that Catlin had knowledge of chemistry and access to paraquat, which he had obtained under the guise of pest control. The image of Catlin as a cold and calculating killer was solidified in the minds of the jury. During the trial, Catlin maintained his innocence, portraying himself as a loving husband and son who was the victim of unfortunate circumstances. His defense team argued that the deaths were coincidences caused by natural illnesses. However, the evidence against him was overwhelming. Witnesses testified to his erratic behavior following the deaths, including his lack of visible grief and his quick claims to life insurance payouts. The courtroom atmosphere was tense, filled with the families of the victims and members of the media. As the trial progressed, it became clear that the prosecution's case was strong. Catlin's calm demeanor throughout the proceedings contrasted sharply with the devastating testimonies of those who had lost loved ones. In 1990, after a lengthy trial, David Catlin was found guilty of multiple counts of first-degree murder. The jury's decision was unanimous, and Catlin was sentenced to death for the murders of Joyce and Glenna, and to life in prison for the murder of his mother, Martha. The sentence brought some closure to the victims' families, but the scars left by Catlin's actions would never fully heal. The case of David Catlin raises important questions about trust, deception, and the nature of evil. How could someone so close to their victims commit such heinous acts? What drives a person to take the lives of their loved ones for money? Catlin's ability to maintain a facade of normalcy while plotting and carrying out murders over the course of years is both terrifying and baffling. This case also highlights the importance of forensic science in solving crimes. Without the toxicology reports and expert testimonies, Catlin may have continued his deadly pattern, leaving more victims in his wake. It serves as a reminder of the vital role that modern investigative techniques play in bringing criminals to justice. David Catlin's story is a chilling testament to the darkness that can exist within the human soul. His actions left a trail of devastation, not only ending the lives of his victims but also shattering the lives of those who loved them. Catlin's case remains a haunting reminder that evil can hide behind a smile, and that trust can sometimes be a dangerous thing. As we conclude this episode of the Criminal Department, we encourage you to reflect on the lessons of this case, the importance of vigilance, the role of justice, and the value of life for all themes that resonate through the story of David Catlin. Thank you for joining us as we explore the depths of human depravity and the relentless pursuit of justice. Stay tuned for more episodes where we continue to uncover the dark truths behind some of history's most notorious criminals. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our content with those who share your interest in true crime stories.